slowly rolling into it, and off of corner number 4. It's showtime at Skagit Speedway.
Logan rolls down the back chute. Off the bottom, final 2 left-hand turns. Off at turn number 4, here's Holtrup reeling him in, but Cole Logan gonna be a winner at Skagit Speedway. It's showtime!
One car with the front of it that was junk, and another car with the back of it was junk. So I cut both of them in half, took the good part of one car and the good part of the other car, and welded them together.
The reason why I decided to move to Sean's number and use it was just because in memory of Sean was his V8, and I just kind of lived for racing and racing with his number just to remember him by.
Racing, and next thing you know, she's on the flag stand running the, doing flag, and all my quarterback. I'm like, where did you come from?
You definitely have to want it. You can't just say you want it. You got to want it. You got to have that desire that drives you.
I hope they just soak it all in, because you don't know when it could be over, right? You might, mom and dad can't do this anymore, right? We don't have the money, or we can't find the sponsors, whatever it is. I just soak it all up while it's happening.
That was at Elma. This is a different track. I don't think it'll be the same thing. He's like, oh, okay, you can throw it on. We threw the GoPro on his car, and he actually did pretty good that night, I believe. So we're like, see, I convinced him. I was like, see, it's only at Elma. You can't run a GoPro. And then the next week, I believe he blew up a motor with the GoPro on. So I haven't put a GoPro on his car since then.
Well, welcome into episode number 12 on the Gas at Skagit Speedway Podcast. I'm Erik List, joined with Blake Anderson. As always, we're up in the Skagit Speedway scoring tower, broadcast booth, personal suite area. Blake, how you doing today on this fine Wednesday afternoon?
Yeah, another day as we're closing in. Hard to believe. Season quickly winding down. 3 weeks of racing left for us at Skagit Speedway as we kind of run full steam into Survive the 55 and Championship weekend tonight, or this upcoming weekend's our last, I should say, single race night. So we've got 3 weeks left, 5 races, though, in 3 weeks. So it should be a fun couple of weeks at Skagit as we finish strong. Yeah,
this week is Nelson Reisner First Responder Night with 410 Sprint Cars, IMCA Modifieds, and the Hornet Division as well. And we talk about points, and especially points going into the season championship. Well, we can talk about it more at the end of the show, but man, there's a big points battle to watch this year, especially in the 410s. Trey Stark got passed at high limit. He's now 5 points back in second place behind Jason Solwald.
Yeah, we've got some really strong points battles as we head into this weekend, and the 410 one I think certainly has everyone captivated and has us watching as you've got a couple of Skagit Speedway legends going at it. Jason got the track championship last year. Let me talk here.
You can do it, Blake.
And Trey Stark's got the owner championship because he missed tonight for the birth of his baby boy. And Dominic Selzy sat in the car for a night. But this year, it's kind of heads up as we've got 2 races left on the schedule for the 410s, which is really going to be fun to watch. Yeah. Jason he's tough to gain spots on because he just top threes you to death. And Trey kind of does the same. So I think qualifying will be big, the qualifying points and heat race points, and obviously the A-main. It's kind of what you draw and where you go from there.
Yeah, I shouldn't say ever. I really didn't think anyone was going to get past Trey Starks this year.
Either. He had
and then when Lisa told me in the office, she's like, yeah, Solwald's now 5 points ahead of him. I was like, wow. I didn't expect that. But yeah, like you said, his Skagit Nationals were not what he would have liked, I'm sure. And that did it. But we've got this week before season championship. It's a great time to reset. He's won so many races in the 410 and 360 this year. If he's to bounce back, there's no reason Trey Starks can't and won't this week.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things shake out. Mm-hmm. Jason's been super fast lately. The last couple of years hadn't been able to get to victory lane. This year he's proved that he can get the 18 into victory lane with a 360 and a 410 sprint car win, which has been neat and good for us at Skagit Speedway. And Trey's been super tough, but had a couple of tough breaks in there that Jason was able to capitalize on, and that certainly made a tight points battle. And then you look at the Hornets; they're pretty settled in beyond.
Yeah, Howard Voss
with pretty much has that
over Bryce Kolar. Yeah,
but there's good points battles inside the top 10 that are really, really close and going to be fun to watch.
Braxton Hausman, Raven Skagit, Scott Henry, 141, 537, 535, 533. So, all
within
right
10
there.
points.
Yeah.
So that's great. And then the IMCA modifieds are kind of settled in again. Their points are a little bit tougher, a little bit different point system for the IMCA modifieds than anything else. We have to run the IMCA point system, and it's A main points only, 40 points to the winner, 39 for second, 38 for third, on down. Really it's 1 point per position, so there's not even a win bonus in there. So it gets kind of tough to gain positions, and we've been averaging about 14 to 15 cars a night with the IMCA modifieds, and I think what's Westergaard up, 12 or something like that?
Yeah, he's got a 12-point lead over
just-
Adam Holtrup at 230 versus 218.
Pretty much has to finish in the top 10 the next couple of weeks. Obviously, Adam's going to have to
would probably have to,
an average of 6.5 spots
Yeah.
is what he's going to have to do. So Westergaard's going to have to. Adam's hoping for a DNF in there for Westergaard.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not hoping. That's not
the
correct way to put it, but that's what he needs.
Yeah.
The DNF would really shake things up, and Jeff's been super consistent. That's what's won him a championship. He's been super fast, and Cole Logan we had on today has been fast.
Yeah, I mean, Cole Logan is the Rookie of the Year candidate, but he's only, Holtrup's at 218, Logan's at 214.
Yeah.
He's got 2 wins, 4 top 5s, 5 top 10s, and 6 features. There's a good chance, going by finishing positions, Westergaard probably won't be beat. Holtrup and Logan, you could get a couple positions either way, and that second place could swap hands.
And we've seen some
points
crazy
format.
things happen in the IMCA modifieds this year, so you never know. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of racing, right, is you truly just never know.
Blake, like I said, we have Cole Logan on. I know you're a big IMCA modified guy growing up in the Midwest. What do you like so much about the modifieds?
I think the parity, I grew up going and watching the IMCA modifieds, and really they're home in central Iowa where there's hundreds of modified. Literally, I was telling you guys you could draw a hour radius around my hometown and you could hit 12 tracks on any given, whether it's Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But the IMCA modified, you can run a lot inside that hour radius, 2 hour, especially you go to 2 hours and you're really at a lot of racing. But they're just, I don't know. You get them on the right track and the right surface, and they can put on a phenomenal show. And we see that at the 55. When you bring in some of the big guns, the racing gets really good. And Cole talks about it. I like the amount of changes you can throw it in IMCA modified to really get. There's a million different ways to hit a couple of different things, and you can go about it so many different ways. What makes it fun, and that's what I enjoy about it. I guess it's kind of what I knew and what I grew up on. Grew up going to Knoxville a couple times a year. That was a half hour down the road, but mainly at Boone Speedway, the home of IMCA, where arguably one of the biggest dirt track races in the country takes place, with the IMCA Super Nationals last week, over 1,100 entries in I think 6 or 7 divisions.
That's so crazy.
It's insane, but it's what I grew up on, so it feels like home to me when I can see them. Obviously, I love a 410 sprint car, and that's my favorite now, but the IMCA modified, I have a real soft spot for IMCA modifieds, and I want them to do well out here and have put on a good show. And I feel like we told Cole, they've really stepped up this year.
Yeah.
Last year, I was kind of beating my head on a wall thinking, I don't know if we can make them work. It was frustrating because every night it was something with the IMCA modifieds here. They were hardly getting races completed, and this year they've really, I feel like, changed kind of their driving style. They're not getting into each other as much. They're racing with a lot more respect, and it's been enjoyable to watch. They're starting to show what an IMCA modified can do. It's going to be hard when you're comparing them to a 410 sprint car, but they're carving out their path.
Good racing.
Exactly. Good racing's good racing. It's all what you want. Do you want to go fast, or do you want to see, you can see 3 wide racing with an IMCA modified for laps on end?
And that's impressive. And that's what you'll see at the South 55, you know. Good modified racing, and it's no disrespect anywhere. Like, good modified racing can run 3 wide and, barely touch or not even touch at all. And that's just the beauty of modified, because you can't do that in a sprint car. Open wheel car, you're not aero, and you're not touching like that in an open wheel car, because someone's going to flip.
They're moving a lot more air around in a sprint car. You're just going a lot faster. The margin for error is a lot thinner in a sprint car because of that, the danger of flipping. With IMCA modified, you can lean on each other a little bit, and that's kind of the beauty of the Fender racing. I don't know. I still love a 410 sprint car.
I do too.
That's my favorite. I'll walk on fire to watch a 410 sprint car race, a high quality one. But the modified, I'm glad to see that they've really upped their program, and I give those IMCA guys, modified guys, a lot of credit here at Skagit Speedway. They have done a nice job this year, and hopefully that trend continues. I hope that we're on a path that is a good path, because I feel like we can grow that class. You heard Cole talk about it. It's very economical. You've got more engine options now, a cheaper option with the spec motor to get you into things, and the cars are out there, and we hit on everything with Cole, from the finances of things to racing, motors, chassis, tires. I mean, Cole did a great job kind of breaking everything down. So I think this will really help people see the IMCA modified maybe in a little bit different way, because it's still up at Skagit up here. It's relatively new compared to everything else. The Hornet's been here for 25 years.
The sprint
car's been here since
forever.
They moved dirt at Skagit Speedway. It's just evolved. But the modified's been off and on and pretty steady the last 10 to 15 years. But
in the grand scheme of them, that's a short span
pretty
of
short
time
when we're
in Skagit Speedway.
71 years old. So it's fun to let fans get to see him. And, you hear Cole talk about it. He bought a car from Rick Smith, who Rick's done everything at Skagit. He's won in a 410. He's won in a Sporty. I haven't found a 361 yet, but I'm still digging. And IMCA Modifieds, he really found his bread and butter with the IMCA Modified. He's our class's winningest driver here, and just the Smith family at Skagit is a legendary family, without a doubt. Whether it's Rick or his brother Kevin, their dad is a Hall of Famer here.
I mean, most recent winner. He's 1 for 2 in races that he's ran this year at Skagit Speedway.
Which is such a neat story, because Rick missed the first 3 quarters of the season because he had heart surgery.
Open heart surgery, yep.
And wasn't sure he was going to get to race this year at all. And then he races and gets a win, which is really, really neat.
And again, Cole talked about it. That was our most recent topless modified race, but it was 3 ride. He had to work for it. It was him, Westergaard, Cole. Cole had something break, but even ran well. Like, he had to work for that win. So
absolutely,
shout out and congrats to Rick Smith and Jeff Westergaard and Cole Logan, both with 2 wins this year, have been running phenomenal. So, Blake, I don't know if you got anything else. Otherwise,
we had a great talk with Cole.
It was a lot of fun.
Let's get to that.
Yeah. Well, welcome to our special guest today on the On the Gas podcast. It's Cole Logan, a rookie in the Skagit Speedway IMCA Modified Division. Cole, thank you so much for joining Blake and I. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we want to have you on for a numerous amount of reasons. Just mainly, then first off, being your success that you've had this year in the Modified Division. Yet being a rookie, can you talk about kind of what your season's been like and how it's been driving a Modified as a rookie here at Skagit Speedway?
Yeah, it's been really awesome. I mean, I was talking to Rick. I bought the car from Rick Smith this winter when he had his medical issues, and I've been working on his car since I was 14 years old. And we were talking, and he had confidence in me that I'd get a win, but he didn't want to, boost me too much and make me cocky. So, but I was like, I think I'm going to get a win, because I just always have been in a positive mindset, think the best. And, I said that to him. He's like, all right, let's see. And then came out, and I struggled the first couple nights. And then that third night we got the win. And he's like, well, you actually did it.
What do you feel like it was that finally clicked for you?
Really, I had the setup too tight. The first time I went out on the track, I was clicking off pretty quick laps. I always push the car as hard as I can. And I'm still improving as a driver. There's no doubt about that. I'm still learning. But the setup was just not for me. And I finally tuned it into me a little bit, and I was able to drive it and not have to think too much.
How hard is it to get that setup dialed in? Especially here at Skagit, you only have 11 or 12 races to really get dialed in, and I feel like for you, it took about 3 races for you to find the sweet spot.
It's hard, because, the Skagit changes, weather's not the same night to night. That's a big difference. And the cars that we're running with, between those two, you think you have a setup that's perfect for the night, and then you show up and you're running against different cars. So what was slick last week, now you got a heavy hooked up track. Like that third win, if I wanted to start it on pole, I don't know if I would have got up to the third race when I won. I don't know if I would have got up there. But the setup, once you get in the ballpark, it's not too bad. But I was so far out of the ballpark those first couple nights that I mean, my positions showed 10th and 12th, and they weren't very good.
Yeah, to me, that's amazing. I mean, you guys get such limited track time, and obviously we try to work on that, but we only have so many dates available at Skagit, so we're kind of handcuffed a little bit there. But to see your progression from really week 1 to 4 and then where you are from now, from, say, early June is pretty impressive. You've really grabbed a hold of things. I imagine having a guy like Rick and learning from Rick and working on his stuff for so long has really been big for you, I would imagine.
Oh, it's huge because I was confident working on the car and driving it from the get-go because I've been around them so long. I've watched all these guys. I've watched Adam. I've watched Westergaard, Gunderson, all these guys. I've watched them for so long that when I went out there, I knew where their lines were. I knew how they'd drive. So in that aspect, I wasn't trying to learn the drivers that I was racing with. I was just trying to learn me and my car. So I'm sure that sped me up a lot coming into the season.
So how did you first start working with Rick?
Well, I started racing quarter midgets when I was 5 and raced up until I think I was either 12 or 13. And then my folks been friends with Rick for a while, and they were going out to the bar one night, and Rick and Patty, his wife, swung by the house, and my dad asked Rick, he's like, hey, you want to bring my boy on and work on your race car? And he's like, yeah, sure, bring him by. So I started coming by, and it's been history ever since.
That's awesome you get to work with a guy that is really a legend here at Skagit Speedway across many realms. I mean, Rick's done it all at Skagit, from driving a modified to driving a 410 sprint car and everything in between. So that's pretty neat that you got to learn from that. Now you're really getting, I mean, we see it quite often in sprint car racing, guys that were crew guys and then go back to racing and or have successful careers. I mean, I'm looking at a guy that worked for Steve Beitler, Jason Johnson, ironically. He worked for Steve for a year or two and then had a pretty darn successful sprint car career, and you've had a pretty successful modified career, or early goings of a career here with multiple wins already. That's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, just being able to work on the car and learn every nut and bolt in the corners of the car. I mean, there's still stuff I'm learning because I'm adapting, or I'm transferring that to the driving and combining the two. But everything that I've learned with working on Rick's when he was running, I mean, it just progressed me further than I could have ever imagined.
What do you feel like the toughest thing to learn about a modified is, and what did you really kind of, tying in with that, did Rick have to help you learn? Because, they're complicated like any race car is. What was that? Was there something that, just took a while to kind of figure out?
The rear steer in these cars, that was weird feeling. I mean, I knew it was going to feel weird from the get-go, so I had an idea, but I didn't expect to feel the rear end steering as much as it does and hiking up. It feels pretty normal now, but that was just kind of mind-boggling when you have your left rear corner of the car come up 6 inches, 7 inches more than ride height. It feels kind of weird the first time you come in the corner.
I imagine. I mean,
I can.
You look at a sprint car. Sprint car's pretty basic in the grand scheme of things, but a modified, I don't think enough race fans realize how complex a modified is with all the bars that you guys have to move and the front end geometry and everything going on in the front end and where you place your weight and everything like that. I mean, a modified is a very complex race car.
Oh yeah, I could have one problem and solve it 25 different ways. It's just what that one thing I'm changing, what that causes down the road, like, yeah, it'll fix this, but what's it going to change also? So that's the hard part, is learning and just finding your couple things that you like changing and what it does also other than the change, and just stick with those is what I felt like has been the best thing I've done so far this year.
In speaking with changes and setup-wise, what does a night look like for you when you roll in, for packing to hot laps to the A-main? What are you changing on the car? What are the setup things that, you're kind of looking at? No sprint car, air pressure, maybe you're changing a bar if you want, you're adjusting some of your shocks. Is that similar on a modified?
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty close on setup. We're still changing stuff throughout the week in between races to try to find some more speed. but mainly at the track. We'll show up, roll the car off the trailer, run hot laps, and then the only thing we've changed the last 3 nights that I've been at the track is air pressure across the rear.
Okay.
I mean, it's been pretty good. I'll open up the chain a little bit depending on how the track feels. That last race, the chain completely broke off the mount, so that was a little weird feeling. But normally, air pressure and chain are about all I really do. I mean, there'll be a time where obviously I change it more, but the car I felt like has been pretty close.
What do you mean when you say you open up the chain a little bit more?
So when we open up the chain, it's just lengthening the chain. There's a adjustable mount we got on the left rear.
Okay.
Some cars have them on the right rear, but I'll go up a click or two to lengthen the chain on the left rear. Get a little more drive when the track goes away. It also puts a little more rear steer in it, so it'll bite you in the ass if you go too far.
Mm-hmm.
But like when the chain broke, my left rear was digging into the frame rail, so you can go too far.
Is a chain kind of a similar to a bird or a watch link that it helps hold the rear end in, or just help? What is it? I'm still trying to grasp what a chain is a little bit.
It's a tuning tool to limit travel because we got J bars. That's what controls the rear end sliding left to right.
Okay.
The chain controls your bar angle, how much drive you get into the car. The more bar angle you get, you'll drive the tire harder, but it'll also walk the left rear tire further forward because of the angle it's at. So, there's a lot of things that it'll do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just another wrinkle that you guys throw into things there that is crazy. Like, as you said, there's a few problems and a million ways to solve them with an IMCA modified. And I think that's the beauty of the modified. To me, what I appreciate is you can attack it in so many different ways.
Yeah, I like an overcomplicated, just an equation in a sense. Like, I like having 30 different ways to do something. It's fun. I like tinkering during the week and trying to find speed. And with this many adjustments, there's endless opportunities to find speed. It's just, where is it?
Do you think you'll get in a sprint car ever? I know your Uncle Dale wants that to happen. I know he's pushing
Well,
for that.
it depends how much money he puts up.
We keep telling him, Dale, when you start in this sporty team.
Yeah. I'd jump into one for
We'll
sure.
stay on him,
I'd love to. I'd love to run one, but right now I think this is. I mean, it's a fairly affordable class. I mean, you could tear up stuff in any class, and you're out money. But I feel like night to night, if you keep your nose clean and only bent up body panels and a bumper here and there, and we can make tires last pretty long.
Yeah,
must be nice.
It's pretty affordable. I mean,
especially that IMCA tire. That IMCA tire is real hard.
Yeah. Unless you go down to Elma, then the track tears it up a little bit more there.
But I mean, I know the joke back home for the longest time, back home in Iowa, where IMCA is really king. They call them hockey pucks just because they're so hard.
Oh yeah. It's interesting. I have a tire sitting in front of me when we're done with this interview. I gotta prep, so I always try something different every time I groove and sipe another tire until I find my sweet spot. And once I find it, I'll stick with it. But
will you be done for the year after the Survive the 55, or do you have any plans to do any traveling this fall?
As of right now, that's the plan. Just run the 55, the rest of the season in the 55. I'll probably call it a season, and then if something comes up where we decide to go to Arizona this July or whatever, we'll decide that. But as of right now, just the 55.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like, shoot, in January down at Central Arizona, you can run 10 nights out of 12, something like that. It's crazy. They run so much on there. Eric went to school down there, and he went down there to Casa Grande to see High Limit, I believe.
High Limit, and then I saw the last year of what was the Central Arizona was a USAC and a
Arizona Speedway.
Yeah, Arizona Speedway. I haven't seen,
Yeah.
but that wasn't a modified show. But there's a lot of racing down there in Arizona.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that's modified central down there.
Yeah.
What was it? Their first 410 race last year in Arizona, or
Well, it was the first one in a while. We'd run the 410s had run down there quite a bit, but just Manzanita was a real big hub for them in Phoenix. But in Arizona, the problem is the tracks keep disappearing. There used to be so many of them. Now it's really down to just a handful of them. And Central Arizona, which is 45 minutes south of Phoenix, I'd say, right in there. Yeah, it's kind of become the hub, and they really grab a hold of IMCA stuff. It used to be Yuma, down at Yuma, and then that shifted, and it's kind of the Winter Nationals hub for IMCA. They get, I don't know, over 100 modifieds for their big race down there, but it's because you can go run so many nights in a really short amount of time, so it makes it a little bit more budget friendly, I feel like, for the modified teams.
Oh yeah. It probably takes 3 or 4 nights to run cost of I'm sure it's probably less than the cost of a 410 in one night.
Oh, yeah.
That's so impressive. Where do you see your future aspirations being for a modified? Or, I mean, we talk about a sprint car. Do you see, your future trying to move out of the modified class a little bit?
Well, right now, I'm really enjoying the mods. It's been really good racing. It's been a lot of fun. I'd love to hop in a sprint car. Financial-wise, right now, it's a modified. Down the road, I guess it just kind of, as it goes, we'll see what happens. If someone gave me an opportunity to hop on a 410, I wouldn't bat an eye. I would jump right into it,
Yeah.
It just kind of, wherever my financial is, I'll decide on that,
Yeah. I've been happy with the modifieds this year.
Too. They've been really good.
I feel like last year the modifieds really struggled to get A mains in. I mean, we were up against the time limit every week, I feel like. And this year, you guys have done a phenomenal job. I mean, you're racing good, clean, hard races, and that's been great to see. And it'll get to show fans what the modifieds can be, which has been fun. So kudos to you guys for being able to get that done this year.
You better find some wood to knock on.
Hopefully I'm not speaking too soon, but I just feel like you guys have been doing a really nice job this year, not tearing up as much equipment, especially as we did last year.
So we've had some phenomenal racing. Like that last race, even though I didn't win and I finished third, that was the most fun I've had in this car all year. Like that was battling around the outside of Westergaard and Rick. That was just plain fun. It sucks that my car was broke when I did it, but it was fun.
Yeah, so if anything can go wrong this week, we'll blame Blake and the modified.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
You bring up a good point. The last race here was the topless modified race, and honestly, I think that's just I haven't side note, I haven't seen the 55 yet. I've had to go back to school the 2 times it's ran, so I'm excited for it this year. But excluding that because I haven't seen it, the topless race is probably one of the best modified races I've seen at Skagit Speedway, and I feel like a lot of the drivers talked about how much fun they had driving these cars topless. Did they handle differently without a top on?
Oh yeah, it freed my car up a lot. I immediately, normally from hot laps, I won't make an adjustment. I made an adjustment right away from hot laps.
Okay.
So it definitely taking the sail pan. It's like I wouldn't say it's like taking a wing off of a sprint car, but it's like the old sprint cars that used to run at Skagit, the Sportsman's, when they ran the small wings. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it's like running the small wing up top compared to the big wing up there. I mean, it definitely made a difference.
Yeah, imagine. I mean, no doubt. You take away. I mean, I don't think people realize how much that roof does for you guys on a downforce standpoint.
Yeah, and I'm surprised. I mean, I got one of the smaller roofs out there. I'm not up against the rules or anything. It's a pre-built roof from Performance Bodies. I'm kind of surprised it's doing as well as it is, but don't change what's not broke,
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. I feel like another interesting thing with the modifieds is, the motor. You can either run a crate or you can run, I believe it's an open motor, correct?
Yeah.
Well, they have a spec motor now too.
Yeah.
And the guy that just won Boone Nationals, he was running a spec motor.
Yeah, he's an Arizona guy. Tim Ward.
Yeah, it was pretty cool seeing because the guy that won in Arizona at the start of the year, he was also running a spec motor. So the 2 big shows that IMCA has had this year, the spec motors have won them.
I was still pretty deep in the IMCA world when they came out with the crate motor, and I think there's a lot of people that hate the crate just because it's it's not open.
Yeah.
But at that point, IMCA needed the crate motor because the motor costs were getting out of control. Guys were spending mean, this is 15 years ago. Guys were spending $25,000 on an IMCA motor, which is just, I mean, stupid to run for $300 to win at a weekly show. You know, $400 to win. And the crate really did a lot. It helps save the IMCA modified. And now you're seeing, as you mentioned, the spec motor is really competitive. The crate isn't, but the crate, what you can run a little bit of a blade on the back, I believe, as opposed to the open motor, like an 1.5 inches or something like that.
Yeah, so spec motor and crate, you could run the 2-inch wing, they call them, on the back. It's pretty much a wicker bill.
Yeah.
The open motor, you can't run anything. But, I mean, the price of the crate motors, they've really gone up quite a bit.
They have.
Yeah. You can ask Westergaard. I mean, poor guy, he's had bad luck this year. The spec motors, I think, in the next 2 or 3 years, that's what you're going to see as the norm. I don't think the crate motors are going to be the backup motor that people had, one that has 90 shows on it. They don't want to send it off to get it freshened because they know how much it costs. It'd probably be comparable to building a spec motor.
Yeah, the crate, I mean, shoot, you heard guys winning races with 100 nights on their motor. I had a friend that she made the A-main at the Super Nationals in Boone. In the sport mod, she had like 120 nights on her motor.
Yeah, this crate motor's got 65 on it.
That's incredible. And I mean, super.
What allows them to run that well? Just how they're built?
It's kind of luck. To me, at least, Cole, you're the one that runs them. To me, it's kind of luck of the draw. I think you'll have crate motors that'll go 30 nights and poof, and then you'll have a crate motor that's still winning races at 100 nights.
And I think some of it's that, but I think a lot of it, not to dog on anyone, but maintenance. Yeah. I don't think you could run the oil more than 3 nights. I'll check my oil after each night. The topless night, I didn't like how it looked after the second night of the oil, so I dumped it out and put new stuff in it.
That's great.
You just got to look at that stuff and
that makes sense.
To me, that's kind of investing in your program, too.
You have to take that chance, or that time to keep your stuff up to snuff and up to par, it seems.
Yeah, for sure.
You put so much money. Oh, sorry, yep.
Oh, go ahead.
No, so you put so much money into it, it's one of those necessary things.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with what it costs to get rebuilt. If you have $100 oil change, just do it.
Yeah.
If you're questioning it at all, just do it.
That's pretty simple change I guess it even boils down to your daily car life too, on changing the oil. That's an easy way to extend the life of everything.
It's
your race car, your race car to your street car.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like these things make a lot of power anyway, the crate motors. So I mean, they should live 90 nights, 100 nights. Really.
Do you see a day where you think you'd get a spec motor?
Yeah, I mean, I'd for sure build one, at least for a spare. I've been considering it for a spare. I don't have an issue with doing it. Cost wise, who knows? Maybe I'll have one for a spare or in the car next year. We'll see.
That's great. You're in a Larry Shaw car, right?
Yeah, it's a 2019 Shaw XL. Rick ran it for 4 years, I believe, 2020 to 2024.
That's
Austin ran a handful of races, ran a handful of races in it, and Rick won a lot of races in this car.
So didn't he joke he gave you his race-winning car?
Yeah. He had to put that in there.
So just going back to the motor thing a little bit. So open motor makes the most horsepower, right? Would it then be a spec motor with crate in the bottom, or is it flip spec and crate?
I mean, you could build a really crappy open motor and spec motor and make less than a crate motor. But a normal good engine builder, the open motors are going to make more than the crates. The crate killer, so-called open motors, they're probably comparable to a spec motor.
Okay.
Spec motors probably, I'd say, average about 40, 50 more horse than a crate motor. Okay. But you only got an 8-inch wide tire that durometer's really high. I mean, you could only hook up so much.
Yeah, to me, that's just another wrinkle in the IMCA modified that makes it interesting. There's so many things to watch beyond just the racing, who's running what motor, what combinations you guys are running, and the chassis game and the IMCA modified is crazy. That's one thing that blew me away out here. I feel like the Larry Shaw car is pretty dominant out here at Skagit from what I found. I feel like there's more Shaw cars than anything.
Oh, for sure. You look at the Midwest and you got a lot of GRTs and
Harris,
and yeah, they're huge. You don't see a lot of GRTs, or Shaws, but there's probably on a regular weekend there's a couple thousand Shaws out there. I mean, they're the most reliable chassis out there, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, I have really seen the Shaw cars win a lot of races. Back home, as you mentioned, the Harris is really kind of the predominant car. Rage is really popular. Justin O'Brien at Rage in Northern Iowa. But Harris Auto Racing, I mean, the family that owns Harris Auto Racing now, I went to kindergarten with the guy that owns Harris now, and I've known Kyle Brown
oh, that's cool.
pretty much my entire life. So we've kind of tried to work on, I need to get back with him and kind of touch base, but try to work on getting some Harris cars maybe out here or doing some sort of school to help. Because one thing I've heard, I mean, you're pretty dialed in, but I've talked to several of the modified guys that are like, man, we really are still trying to figure out what to do with these things, where to move weight, when to do this, when to do that. We really don't know because you don't get a ton of races. So I've told Kyle, like, I think a chassis or tech school would be, I think, really beneficial to the modified guys out here.
Oh, I mean, even the people that are fast, like, I don't want to consider, since I'm still a rookie, I don't want to consider myself a fast guy. But, like, any of us, even if you're fast, it's not a bad idea because they probably know something that we don't. And they do that for a living. It's not a bad idea to have that class. Or I think Rick, a couple of years ago, went to the Shaw one. A handful of people actually went out there. They teach you stuff that you just don't know.
I've told several drivers, like, I would reach out to your chassis manufacturer, like Shaw. If you're running a Shaw and you don't have to do, like, there's nothing more that Shaw wants than to see you win, because they want to talk about how many races they won. So if you're running a Shaw car, whether you even bought it from or you bought it used, they want to see their particular chassis in victory lane because they want to be at the end of the year saying, we got 150 wins this year. You know, buy a Larry Shaw car. We're here to help. And I told a couple guys that this
marketing.
Winter. It is.
It's all marketing.
I told a couple drivers that this winter that told me, we don't know what we're doing. I said, just call them. They'll help you.
I've called Kevin Shaw a couple times, Larry's boy. I've called him a handful of times, and he sent me in the right direction. And look, the car's fast now.
They want you to win. I told a driver, I said, I promise you, they will help you. They will get you in the right direction, 100%, or get you back to, at least get you back to the basics, and you can kind of maybe start off again. Because sometimes, as you know, you get so far down a road, and it's the wrong road, but unfortunately, that's the path you're on, and it's hard to get back out of that road and onto the next road.
That's what makes it easy being a rookie, because I don't necessarily have a road, so I'm willing to just throw the kitchen sink at it, until something sticks. And that's kind of what happened. I listened to Kevin Shaw. He gave me great advice, and I kind of just took that a little bit further, and it's worked out really good at Skagit.
What's your day job? I guess on another topic, I was going to ask you. I like to let our fans know what our drivers do, and I'm always interested to know too, because I don't even know.
So I work for Skagit Farmer Supply, the co-op. I work at the shop and the agronomy plant over here in Burlington.
Okay.
I started out a couple of years ago. I was just a laborer. I did a bunch of bagging orders. We sent 50-pound bags of fertilizer over to Hawaii. I'd crank out 1 to 2 containers a day, which is 27 ton a container. It's
a lot
of work.
Louise, wow.
And then the second year I was there, I got my CDL and ran the plant, drove truck, kind of a little bit of everything, and now I'm in the shop and driving truck, and I'm really liking it there.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome.
Sounds like a phenomenal company to work for. I mean, I've heard a lot of great things about them this year, since moving here the last year and a half, and now they're a great partner here at Skagit Speedway too, which is neat.
Yeah. Matt Dines works there too.
He does. We know Matt.
Fuel and propane, I believe, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Matt's in the fuel and propane department, and they're a partner here at Skagit, and that they own. If you don't know, for the folks listening, Matt owns a 410 here with his wife Lisa, who works at Skagit Speedway on a daily basis in our office with Erik and I, and
Therese and
Erik and I are pretty much in here every day. John Hager, and John's all over the place just because he's trying to juggle a million different balls in the air and does a fine job juggling them, but he's got a lot on his plate. But yeah, Skagit Farmer Supply, a huge employer in Skagit County too.
Oh yeah, they do pretty good around here. they try to treat the farmers well, and I think they do a good job at it, and they treat their employees very well.
That's what I've heard.
So Survive the 55, I mean, is right around the corner practically. You got this weekend championship and then, the biggest modified race here at Skagit Speedway. How are you feeling, only a couple weeks out of the Survive the 55?
Well, right now I'm feeling pretty good. I'm trying to find a little bit more speed so I could at least consistent speed for the 55 so I could be a little faster. And it's never enough. It never is. But I'm feeling pretty good. I think I could make the A.
What makes you excited about the 55 this year?
It's always made me excited. I mean, it's all the out-of-towners show up, and it just makes everyone be on their A game. It's fun. I've always loved it when I worked on Rick's car, and it's just a blast. 2-day show. We don't get a lot. We only get one at Skagit. I could go down to Alma, but it's just fun to have a 2-day show, hang out with all your friends, your sponsors, and everyone. It's just to put on a good show for the fans and have us be the show. It's kind of cool, and I feel like we have put on a really good show every year it's been here that we haven't rained out at all. It's been a really good show.
I'm disappointed that I haven't seen it, so I'm really excited to actually see it this year and be here for these 2 days because my dad comes, he's like, man, that's the best modified show usually at Skagit Speedway every year. I'm like, I want to get to it. So I'm excited to actually be here because I hear so many good things and how many out-of-town drivers come and how many local drivers still make the A main and what a good show it is.
Yeah, and the points format, I really like the points format. I think they got it laid out good. I don't know if they changed it for this year, but I'm assuming it's going to be the same format or really close. The whole way they set up that show, Mel Decker does a great job at doing that. And he tries hard on getting all those sponsors. I got to give him props on that.
Yeah, he's out there hustling a lot.
He's working really hard. Can't say enough good things about how well Mel puts on that show. And
he comes by my house a couple times a week, and we BS, and he's good people.
Mel's a big guy, really, in the world of modified racing at Skagit Speedway. And honestly, just even sprint cars too. He's on numerous cars, but what does Mel bring to the modifieds at Skagit Speedway to make them better? Because I know he does.
Oh, I don't even know where I begin. I mean, just the atmosphere of Mel being around, and he helps the guys out. Like, I was a rookie. He's known me, but he didn't know me super well, I would say. But, I mean, he helped me out. He gave me his open car trailer to use for the year, and he just tries to help the guys out that, need it, and he just tries to put on a good show, and that goes a long way.
He cares.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing.
He truly does.
Just wants nothing but the best for, I think, all racing at Skagit, whether it's, obviously I think the IMCA Modified holds a special place to Mel. He's a former track champion and a state champion here and does a lot, but he just, across the board, Mel does so much for Skagit Speedway behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. A lot of things that people will never see.
Yeah, 100%.
A lot of things he probably doesn't get credit for is what Mel can do. It's impressive watching him and how hard he does hustle and work to put on the 55 and even more than that.
Yeah.
Well, Cole, thank you so much. I don't want to take up too much of your time. We had told you half an hour, and I know it's getting late, closer to dinner time. So thank you so much, and we'll let you get back to siping that tire and prepping your modified for this weekend.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Cole.
Take care, Cole.
Welcome back, everybody. A good chat there with Cole Logan. It was fun to get to be able to educate some fans and you guys more about what the IMCA Modified is and all the different things you can do to a Modified and what and why they do things. You learned a little bit about the chain there that Erik was kind of digging in, and which
still
was
doesn't fully make sense in my head, but that's okay. Maybe I might have to go look. I'll look at one on Saturday.
Yeah, go talk to him on Saturday. But yeah, we invite you, you fans, go down to the pits after the races.
Please,
if
it's
you
free.
want to learn.
Completely
it's
free.
100%. After the races are over, swing down, meet these guys. Tell Cole you listen to him on the sketches, on the gas, and ask some questions. He's there to answer them, and which is really cool. But it's been neat to see the modifieds take off, and we hope they have a strong finish. We mentioned at the top of the show we've got 3 weekends of racing left, Erik, which is hard to believe. I feel like we were just kind of getting ready for you to go back to college and graduate. Now we're wrapping the season up. You're full-time here at Skagit, and
it's been weird.
Working hard on the social media side of things and trying to grow Skagit. And we appreciate everyone downloading this podcast. We're seeing the numbers pick up, which is great. Well, as we've talked about in the past, we're going to keep going through the off season. Maybe not weekly, but we'll do a couple a month, I imagine.
I'm having fun with it anyway.
Yeah,
so,
I am. I hope you guys are too. We're going to get some guests, some more historical guests, I feel like, and really maybe dig some onion layers back there on some things and do some stories, and not as much about what's coming up at Skagit, because we'll have 8 months off, 6 months off. But before we know it, we'll be prepping for 2026 and talking about tickets going on sale, so that'll be here quick. But get your tickets for the last couple of weekends online, SkagitSpeedway.com. Couple of big weeks. Of course, we've got this week Nelson Reisner First Responders Night. If you're a first responder, get in for $5. Next weekend, we've got Championship Weekend presented by Skagit Casino. Get a room at the casino. It's, 5 minutes? Not even 2 minutes?
Not even. Stone's throw, practically.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, by the way, a bird flies maybe a half mile from here.
Oh, yeah.
But they've got a beautiful hotel. You go gamble. They've got good food. So get a room at the Skagit and spend a weekend with us here at Skagit Speedway. And then, obviously, survive the 55. We've got a guest plan for next week that we talked about a little. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah, that is 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, we'll talk season championship next week, and then
we get the big boy. Should we spoil it?
We'll bring Mel Decker on. On, and I mean, it feels fitting. He worked so hard.
Mel
you heard
does.
Cole
He's
talk
tireless.
about it, and let him kind of promote the 55 and talk
and
about.
We'll give him a hard time.
Well,
that's what we do to Mel. Mel's a good guy.
He's a great guy.
He is an integral part to Skagit Speedway, and I mean, he always handing out $100 bills. I ask him, how do I get on that program?
I'd like to get on the program. I know. I watch him in Victory Lane. He's like, here you go. Like, wait a minute.
But Mel goes out and works hard, finds sponsors for his programs and the 55, and we're really trying to grow the 55 and hope that it can be a mainstay at Skagit Speedway and a staple event, but we got to get it to the point where it's making money. And
you race fans, we want you here. It is a great show.
We've got midgets on Friday with them and 360 sprint cars on Saturday, and come see the best modifieds on the West Coast. I mean, last year we had Tom Berry Jr. come out and win $10,000, and he's arguably one of the best modified drivers in the entire country. I mean, he came from the Midwest. Tom grew up in Oregon, but now I think is in Marshalltown, Iowa. He's somewhere in central Iowa.
Hotbed is.
Marshalltown is. If you're looking for a track to watch on Friday nights, I guess I'd have to look. They're about done. They might be done, but Marshalltown is on Flow Racing. If you have a Flow Racing subscription, check out Marshalltown Speedway on Friday nights. You will not be disappointed. But Tom Berry runs there. The IMCA stock cars at Marshalltown Speedway are king. Unbeatable. Favorite class in the country.
Quick rabbit hole. Marshalltown Speedway brings me back to, you probably got to see it live. Oh, it's got to be at least a 10-year-old show. Do you remember Dirt Nights?
Oh, yeah.
Which followed the...
Yeah,
so Dad and I watched...
followed USMTS.
Yeah, watched that for the longest time.
They had a couple iterations of Dirt Nights. So they had the OG Dirt Nights, which is like 09,
That's kind of what I think with...
and it followed USMTS on a night-to-night basis to show the grind of the USMTS. And that's a different style of modified. It's still a modified, but it's a competing sanctioning body. So
sorry, IMCA.
No. It's a lot of the IMCA guys would go run it because those guys are running full-time for a living. And shoot, some of those guys, if you go back to the OG Dirt Nights from 09, 10 time period, I mean, Ryan Gustin,
was
and now
in
he's a World of Outlaw late model driver. Corey Drips, who was one of my favorite IMCA modified drivers growing up. He had a car that got banned at the Super Nationals one year. He came with a polished aluminum body. They called the car the Toaster because it looked like a toaster, and the reflections off of it. So the IMCA told him, don't bring that car back.
Was that his plan with having it polished?
Yeah. That was, I don't know, early 2000s, late 90s. I vaguely remember it. My dad remembers it a lot more vividly than me. But, they had, Jason Hughes, Kelly Shryock, absolutely legendary.
I remember Kelly Shryock.
IMCA names and USRA names. But then they came back with it a couple years later, and it followed USMTS, but not quite as in-depth as the first 2 years, and they brought it back. Then it came around in the late 2010s. I'd say 17, 18, 19, and it was IMCA-based. One of the years they went up and followed the Dakota Mod Tour.
Ooh, okay.
which is a big IMCA modified tour speed week type deal. And then they kind of followed him through the Midwest, and then it kind of disappeared. I'll have to see if I can find some of those links and send them to you, though.
I say Dirt Nights is still on YouTube. I know.
Yeah, check it out. I mean, it's good racing.
Older footage, but it's good racing.
I went
fun
through
stories.
and watched, I think it's 2 seasons, all available on YouTube.
Yeah, I went back and watched it
on
even
YouTube.
it's just fun.
It's been 5-6 years ago. Probably, I think
They
it was
do a
during the
good job.
pandemic, and it was fun to watch. Like, for me, all those guys are names I grew up with because there were a lot of USMTS shows in Central Iowa, especially back when you were a baby, but it was 09 and 10 when I started announcing. That's when I was year 4 or 5 announcing. I started in 05. But I was in college and I was announcing. I think 2009 I announced 115 nights. Jeez. In this, I was pretty much every night in whether summer when we were off in college. I was working at the family Ford dealership, washing cars and getting off at 4 o'clock and hammer down to whatever IMCA modified race I could hit to announce for $100 and announcing. And that was big. I mean, I got to announce a lot. Jerry Van Sickle, who is the promoter at Marshalltown Speedway now and announces at Boone Speedway, IMCA Super Nationals. And Jay Van I've known Jerry my entire life, but Jerry worked at the family Ford dealership too. And I'd usually hop in, and he was big. He took me everywhere. If I wasn't announcing, he took me with to meet people and get to follow. We were every Wednesday at the Buena Vista Raceway up in northwest Iowa. It was like 2.5 hours away. We'd go there on Wednesdays, get out of the shop at 5 o'clock, and we'd make it before the race because Jerry would drive about 110 miles an hour. Literally, I mean, he'd be on the horn, Erik, calling all of his local sheriff buddies like, "Hey, am I clear? Am I clear? We got
and
escorted
they would just be
through
like,
a county at one point. Yep, you're good for the next 50 miles.
Wow.
I mean, it was. I've never seen a guy work the phones harder than him. But oh my God! And then, as you can imagine, Jerry's got a ticket list about they could hit the ground as we're on the second floor here. But yeah, it was fun. But yeah, check out Dirt Nights. It's neat, and you get to see. I mean, it's an open modified IMCA. It's a lot more controlled. USMTS is a lot more open.
Okay.
Like it's the outlaw per se modified. Not as many rules. A lot more open, more horsepower. The guys are spending a lot more on the motors. And USMTS is still around. Todd and Janet Staley have owned it forever, and they own USRA. That's a competing sanctioning body to IMCA. Yep. USRA. They're out of Webster City, Iowa. IMCA is out of Vinton, Iowa. But the USMTS races, you can watch them on Race and Dirt. Trenton Berry, that I work at the Dome with, and Trenton does a phenomenal job. They're first-class broadcasts, and their graphics guy is, I would put Tyler Rinkin. He's a good buddy of mine. I'd put him as one of the most creative graphics guys in the country and video guys and content guys. Tyler's phenomenal. I need to get you with him at some point because Rinky is phenomenal. I mean, he's an incredible human being too, so that makes it more fun. But check it out. I mean, if you like a little modified racing, check out
behind the scenes even. It's good with that.
It is. Like, you see those guys grinding. Truly, they did a phenomenal job capturing
it was really
the
good.
grind of racing and then having to get the car ready to race 4 hours up the road, and you're racing for $2,000 a night. I mean, some of the times I'm like, how are these guys doing it?
But they did it. Yeah,
they did it. It's worth checking out. Dirt Nights.
Follow-up question before we wrap up. It was interesting to hear Cole talk about the motors and the crate, the open, and then the spec. Why are there 3 motors? It's something I kind of want to ask. I
think
because they it's not like it's 3 different classes. You can run a crate versus an open versus a spec. And
the spec I'm not quite as familiar with because that's new as of the last year.
Okay, it's like.
But I talked about a little in the interview. The crate came about right as I was really kind of transitioning from doing a lot of modified racing to just primarily doing sprint cars.
Okay.
I was in 2009. I started announcing at Knoxville, and I was still announcing Friday nights at Marshalltown Speedway and Sunday nights at Stewart Speedway, and I did that 9 and 10. And then 2011, I went and announced for USAC, and then when I came, I had to come back to Iowa and do Knoxville in 12 because I needed an internship to graduate college, and I couldn't do it. I had to be in Central Iowa, so I had to do that. So I quit traveling for a year, but nonetheless, so. Crate would have come around in somewhere in the late 2000s, 08, 9, 10.
And that's a completely stock.
Yeah, you can buy a crate motor from GM. It's exactly. It is sealed. It's just like the Race Saver motor. That's where the Race Saver motor essentially. They're one and the same.
Yeah.
I think the crate. I think the Race Saver is a 602 and the modified's a 604.
Okay.
Could be the other way around. I know they're right in that
something
range.
Like
so
that.
Don't quote me on that. But nonetheless, it came around because IMCA modified car counts were dipping in Central Iowa. They were really dipping. I mean, the Super Nationals, Erik, growing up, I remember I would go on Monday night for the late models of the first night, and then I wouldn't get to go back until Friday or Saturday because school. Mm-hmm. But Dad would go every night. So I would. That was before the days of social media and cell phones were just getting. So they run 10 races, and then they would take a farming break and rework the racetrack for 15, 20 minutes, and it's incredible. It's a sight to see. But they on Wednesday night, the modified start, they would have 40 heat races of 10 cars for 10 laps. You had to win your heat race to make the qualifying feature that night, and they would do 2 qualifying features, 2 20-car features. Top 3 out of that lock into the Saturday A main. So if you get 4th, you just get good points. The next night you got to redraw back in, and you could start 10th in the heat race right after.
So you're just toast.
10th. Exactly. So
wow,
it's a tough format. It's still the same format, but in 2008 or 9, I remember the conversation happening because we were down from like 400 modifieds down into like 230, 240 at Super Nationals. Okay. So I remember sitting inside they have a trailer house at Boone Speedway where everything happens. That's where everything goes. That's kind of the heartbeat of the racetrack, and it sits right outside the front gate. And I remember sitting in there with Brett Root, who now is the president of IMCA. At the time, he was the VP. His mom, Kathy, was the president. They own IMCA. Okay. And I don't know why I was involved in the conversation because I was 19, 20 years old. But it was like, what are we going to do? We've got 240 modifieds. We can't have 40 7-car heat races. Yeah. What the hell are we going to do? So we made the decision to go to 30 heat races, and that was monumental. But that was kind of what spurred oh, shoot, we got to do something to solve this. And that crate motor was a solid option. So IMCA partnered with GM and brought that back. And it really kind of revived car counts in the Midwest, and really became the IMCA modified became a viable option again. Because I want to say it was like $9 or $10 grand at that time. Now they're a lot more. But back then, races were paying. There were weekly tracks paying $250 to win an IMCA modified feature. $250. And guys were spending $25 grand on a motor.
That's not affordable.
That's not affordable.
No.
And that's the whole basis of IMCA. It's supposed to be affordable racing. We all know, racing's.
Well, we heard Cole talk about it. Yeah. It's more affordable
than about anything else when you compare it. Yes, but it's still expensive. But that was really the impetus behind bringing the crate motor in was how do we make this affordable? Now the crate motor is everywhere. I mean, you run an IMCA hobby stock with a crate. You can run an IMCA stock car with a crate. Really, I mean, I would say, and this is back then, when the Sport Mod came about in 2005, I want to say, was a cheaper option than the IMCA modified. Essentially the same chassis, everything else, but it was primarily crate based. Okay. And they saw how that took off, and they were like, "Oh shoot, we need a crate in the modified." So then they went that rate. And really, at that point, I would say 90% of the field at the Super Nationals for the Sport Mods was crates. Okay. So that kind of is what led them down that road. And it really, the Sport Mod has still been
just as competitive, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you see them win, and then the Spec Motor. I mean, Tim Ward, who's a phenomenal modified driver. I think he's from Mesa. He's somewhere in the Phoenix area. He lives in Iowa now and races weekly at Boone and Marshalltown, the 4TW. But a phenomenal modified driver. But as Cole said, I'm pretty sure he had a Spec Motor in.
Wow.
Because I think his motor only auctioned for $7 grand.
So where's the difference between a crate and a spec?
Now I don't. That would be
so a crate sounds sealed, and so does a spec sound sealed.
Exactly.
So,
admittedly, I don't know as much on that because
fine.
That's been the spec just came around, and I just haven't asked as many questions.
But
I think it's really the spec motor. We've seen it be competitive. I know that several guys are running it back home and winning races. I mean, you go to Boone Marshalltown, especially Boone on a Saturday night, and you got some heavy hitters that are there, especially as the summer rolls on and you get closer to IMCA Super Nationals. Some heavy hitters, and Wisconsin, I'll put IMCA Modified Racing Wisconsin up with anybody as well. I mean, it's tough up there, so I'll have to ask some questions, especially when I get back to the Dome this fall or winter, because that's in December. I know that there'll be several IMCA guys there. This Dome's pretty open. It's a lot of UMP guys, but I'll ask some questions, and I don't know when I'll get home. Or I'd like to get back to some races at Boone and Marshalltown next year, but it just gets tough, and especially when Knoxville gets going, it's hard for me to
not go to Knoxville.
To choose Boone over even though my heart is always with Boone Speedway. But if I can go to Boone or Marshalltown or Knoxville or Boone, I'm probably going to pick Knoxville every time just because of 410 sprint cars. But no, it's check out Marshalltown Speedway on Flow Racing. I look their next races until October.
Okay.
kind of racing really starts to slow down. And
almost a month off.
Yeah. They're done weekly racing.
They can pull an October race in Iowa?
Yeah, last year Jerry had a home run. I think he had like 270 cars.
Holy
now
cow.
you can.
The weather allows that?
Exactly.
Okay.
Last year he hit a home run. This year you don't know. I mean, shoot, I remember going to homecoming in college. Shoot, would have been sophomore year at Iowa, and it was snowing on October 5th.
Yeah.
So I mean, it can snow or it can be 70 degrees, and I think Jerry's kind of playing the game of. If we rain out or have to cancel it, we can pull the plug early. But if it's 65 degrees out, you're going to be counting your money for a week.
Yeah.
You're going to have every car in the Midwest there, and that's what he had last year. He had 270 cars and a very good grandstand, and it's neat. And Jerry, he thinks outside of the box. He pushes Marshalltown hard, but yeah, give him a follow on social media. Marshalltown Speedway, they're phenomenal racing. They're on Flow every week, and the IMCA stock cars there are just chef's kiss. Oh my God, they're 3, 4, 5 wide. I mean, 5 wide. I've seen them 5 wide for multiple laps on end.
I'd like to see that.
It's incredible. And if you're going to Knoxville and you're looking for something to do on a Friday, Marshalltown Speedway is only an hour north, right on Highway 14. So it's straight north, which is exciting. But yeah, there's a lot of good IMCA racing back there, and I'm glad to see the modified kind of take off here. And the Survive the 55 in a couple of weeks, we'll have a lot of the big names on the West Coast and maybe some Central Iowa hitters that come out. I mean,
I hope so. I'm excited for it. I really am.
Mel's working hard to work on the purse, and that's been exciting. And I think that we're going to roll out a really fair purse that's going to be fun. Yeah.
Well, you can see and get a taste of the modifieds this week at Skagit Speedway for Nelson Reisner First Responder Night, and
on YouTube. We'll be back on YouTube.
Yes.
Nonetheless, we haven't been on YouTube, and we've been once in August. Twice in August, ladies' night, and then we had the rain out. Then we came back and raced the week before High Limit.
So give the Skagit Speedway YouTube a follow.
We're over 3,000 subscribers.
I know. I was surprised to see that.
So
Thank you so much to everyone that's subscribed.
Yeah, if you're watching, if you're on YouTube and you have a subscription or you have a profile, subscribe and go through our videos and give them a thumbs up. We greatly appreciate it. That really helps us. I mean, I know it sounds dumb and everyone laughs, like and subscribe. Well, it does help us. It helps us get in the algorithm. It shows the algorithm that people like this, and that's what we like to see. And the cool thing is we can keep our broadcast free, our weekly racing free, which is neat. I mean, fans all over the world can watch us free on YouTube, which I can't think of it. I haven't seen another dirt track doing that in 2025, showing their weekly races for free on YouTube. I know that some used to and have since changed, but we don't have any plans to change as of right now. 2026 is a long ways away, but I can tell you as of Wednesday, September 10th, 2025, we don't have plans to change that next year. But that can long winter. That can always change. But give our channel a like or a subscription if you can, and certainly like our videos. That really helps us, and we greatly appreciate it. And we'll be posting some content throughout the winter. Erik's doing a phenomenal job getting all sorts of stuff, and we greatly appreciate that, Erik. And I think that really helps.
Yeah. That helps. It's a team effort. It's not just me. It's Lisa. It's Carla. It's Therese. It's you. It's everyone who. Emma.
We'll get some fun interviews this winter. I feel like we'll do some sit down stuff and. On there, I think it would be fun to do some long form stuff.
Yeah, I've got some interviews that I've done, and I apologize to any drivers that I've done the interviews we haven't. It's just been so easy to edit them and get them up. So
we've been swamped here.
We've got plenty of.
We're saving it for when it's a little slower, and we can get you more focus. There you go.
The focus is not on me, Blake Anderson.
But I mean, the drivers, we can get them a little bit more focus. But it's check us out.
Yeah. Follow us too on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and I'm forgetting one. We're on 5. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat. There's the other one. At Skagit Speedway. Follow us along throughout race nights throughout the week, and we hope to see you here this weekend at Skagit Speedway. Gates open at 5. Racing starts at 7 for Nelson Reisner First Responder Night. First responders can get in for just $5. Then get your tickets online, SkagitSpeedway.com. Blake, you got anything else to add?
Nope. All good.
Well, with that, thank you so much for listening to this episode of On the Gas, presented by Skagit Speedway.